In 1972, Scottish hard rockers Nazareth released their second album, Exercises, and from it, the anthemic opening track, I Will Not Be Led. Very minor key intro with strings arranged by Colin Fretcher.
You have your rules and regulations. You say his love is my salvation. Then talk of faith and segregation.
Very different track for them, very like melodramatic and orchestral.
You say that I must wait, he will communicate.
I love the vocal melodies on this. Yeah, that's like a really active ingredient in the power of this number.
I will not join your congregation.
Okay, let's catch up with lyrics. You have your rules and regulations. You say his love is my salvation. Then talk of faith and segregation. You say that I must wait. He will communicate. I will not join your congregation. Okay, I don't think this is about a relationship. I think this is about something political. This is a conflict with some kind of party, some entity of power or...
You force me into situations. Each bed of sin and fornication. Forget your sordid celebrations.
Doing the rhyming roll like triplets.
My heart fills up with rage. Who are you to gauge the purpose of my world's creation?
Okay, let's catch up. You force me into situations. Preach bad of sin and fornication. Forget your sordid celebration. My heart fills up with rage. Who are you to gauge the purpose of my world's creation? Okay, this is like the narrator's conflict with like a clergyman, a church leader. He's at a conflict with he's losing faith in the religion he was brought up in and wanting to break free and probably maybe go secular, or maybe he just wants to have a different point of view, like a more open point of view than the one that's been like pushed upon him since, well, as long as he can remember. So far, this might not have any of the band on it. Beautiful. And the band actually wrote all this. Yeah, the label just says Songs by Nazareth. One of those bands that credits all their pieces democratically, and it would take just a real Nazareth file to know who actually was writing what, yeah.
Cannot see the light you're seeing.
Okay, now we're hearing a little bit of band.
I have my own thoughts to believe in.
Hear that searing guitar coming in, and the really different cadence, the more kind of brooding, lurching quality.
I will not heed the words you're hearing. I will not be accused, my liberty abused. You chose the cross that you are bearing.
Really martial quality there. Yeah, how many Nazareth songs really have these dramatic, like, vocal melodies and such? This album produced by Roy Thomas Baker, and I can hear his surround sound lavishness and in full scale here in 1972. No, off the top of my head, I don't know how many albums he was producing this far back. Let's see. Okay. I cannot see the light you're seeing. I have my own thoughts to believe in. I will not heed the words you're hearing. I will not be accused, my liberty abused. You chose the cross that you are bearing. Huh, getting a little bit more convoluted. Basically refuses to have someone else's concept of morality shoved upon him at the expense of what feels natural to him. Like he's not going to be tricked into a false framework of shame, false shaming framework. Yeah, yeah. He's not going to be just persecuted for being human and.
You want them to believe the word you read, but I don't believe it when your good said.
Perfect time to just start this up. It's like a totally different track on now. We've got the full rock band on. We've got that fuzzy sizzle of guitar.
I just believe that I'm dead.
Oh god, the guitar's like searing on one side and then just kind of like sizzling on another, and we've got that throbbing bass coming up underneath it.
Say I must repent, bow down and say respect. I am a man, I will not be led.
I hope that wasn't too loud. I kind of was like turning this up, trying to get more volume out. I hope it didn't distort things. Beautiful flare-ups and accents on different notes in the key of G minor with this string arrangement. Beautiful. I Will Not Be Led by Nazareth from their second album, the 1972 release Exercises, really makes me appreciate them more on the lyrical front. And like the last song I did by them months ago was kind of interesting on that, like as well as I probed into it. And let's hear another track from this album, 1692 Glen Coe Massacre. Once again, another Marshall track, more of that snare. Yeah, something going on, kind of like an army.
Mr. From the Hill can remember murder. Mr. From the Hills that once flowed with blood.
Okay, I'm taking it this is about a historical event. I've never looked up that particular topic, but Massacre of Glen Coe took place in Glen Coe in the Highlands of Scotland on 13 February 1692 following the Jacobite uprising of 1689 to 92. Hear that kind of bagpipey sound? Oh, it's the real thing, yeah, played by Judd Lander. Kind of singing in unison now, and homophonic. The vocal melody is mimicking the musical theme. Okay, let's catch up with the lyrics. Mist upon the hill can remember murder. Mist upon the hill that once flowed with blood. Helped to cover up an approaching army. Hid the killing lust in the eyes of men.
Bloody were the plagues that fell on children. In the blinding light tried to kill our name. The mountains only know all the souls that died there. Let go from that day can recall the shame.
Sitting by the fire was a sentry sleeping. Rolled up in their beds were children that play, unsuspecting what was to fall upon them. None of them would see the dawn next day. Very good, taking a story that they had read about that at least one of the members was quite passionate about anyway. Or heck, perhaps something all the members were taught in history classes. It was probably commonly taught in history, particularly in Scottish schools back in those days. I don't know if it still is now, but something is one of those like historical events that if you go a few generations back, most people from that time period are probably fairly well versed in, and a good. Or I could be wrong. Maybe it was just something that one of the members took interest in and read some books on. But very good use of selectively taking out vignettes from the story, impressions, and fitting them into couplets and stanzas and such. Yeah, I'm really this video is really making me appreciate this band on the lyrical front a lot more. That deeper sound, no, that deeper. Yeah, the bagpipes are accenting the melody on my left speaker, and then in the right, I'm hearing some like cello and deeper sound. Okay, one thing I do have to say though is that like the band were kind of supplanted music in the instrumental department for about half of the last track, and largely just kind of we've got vocals by Dan McCafferty and some backup vocals by the others, Darrell Sweet and Pete Agnew, Manny, Charlton, but all of this I think once again we're getting some strings here going on by Colin Fretcher. Okay, bloody were the blades that fell on children. Ugh. Hate the blinding light tried to kill a name. The mountains only know all the souls that died there. Glen Coe from that day can recall the shame. It's amazing. I think these are like two of the only two songs that they did in this like chamber rock vein, kind of like Marshall chamber rock. And yet between the band and their arranger and producer, they excel at it. This is a real strong suit of theirs musically. I like that higher accent of the melody we're hearing now with like the violin. I know the cello is just doing no, 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 like accenting lows. Oh, really doubling up on the Marshall element. Yeah, those snare drums, those... Let's see, last verse. The quiet of the night never gave them warning. The silence of the hills wouldn't let them know. The silence of the hills. They'd never rise again on a mist-filled morning, never see the sunrise above Glen Coe. There's some good like classical like paintings rendering the event depict of the Glen Coe Massacre. Yeah, that was Nazareth with 1692 Glen Coe Massacre, and before that, I Will Not Be Led. Two very melodramatic, anthemic, martial, chamber-laden tracks from the Scottish band's second album, Exercises, released on Warner Brothers in 1972. Yes. Following up on their first album just a year later, the band would be very prolific during the 1970s. I think releasing about 10 before the decade was out, doubling up on a few years there, and then even like having kind of like a career peak in the early 80s, like 10 years into it, and also being quite a presence in the early days of MTV. Yeah. For more Rubies and Sapphires from the catalog of Nazareth, see the directory of albums by Scottish artists linked in the description below for red hot tracks and purples from all the Nazareth albums anyway from 1971 through 1983. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the two tracks we just heard. The arrangement, the key center, the melody, the vocals, the lyrics, the dynamics, the intensity, the band elements, what were there of them. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.